Everything I am about to say in this video is a critique of Wings as a content creator and as a person. I have no interest in making fun of him for his weight, his mannerisms, or any other superficial quality that could have him dismiss my video as hateful or as bullying. You aren't getting out of this that easily. Wings of Redemption is an interesting case to take on, admittedly. He is what I would consider to be an OG YouTuber. His channel was made all the way back in 2008. I mean, I was 3 years old when this guy was uploading 3 videos a day, camping in a corner with an MP40 during the World at War days. He was basically the original rage baiter. Unfortunately, he has gone through the effort of unlisting, privating, deleting pretty much all of his old videos, meaning that the only possible benefit that he could have gotten out of me by covering him, that being the 9 or 10 views that would have gotten thrown his way through me reviewing the footage, will now have to go to one of his biggest detractors, that being Breaking Banquet. Been studying you a long time, Wings. A long, long time. I had to sit back, I had to gather my evidence, bide my time, but that's all over now. I've come for you. As I said in the intro, Jordy began his YouTube career back in 2008, where the height of gaming content was setting your camera up to a TV to record gameplay. He was actually pretty ahead of the curve in this respect because his original content was some of the first on the platform to be recorded with an actual capture card. If you guys remember those little like Elgato things that you would basically plug into your HDMI. Was it your HDMI port? I don't know, it was something like that. He had a decently high-paying factory job at the time, so he was able to afford the steep price of admission for higher quality content. So you're probably thinking to yourself, you know, he started in the upper echelon of content right off the bat. That probably made it easier to stay on top and adapt to the changes that YouTube went through, right? No! His content today is nearly completely identical to what he produced back then. No exaggeration whatsoever. Gameplay videos with little to absolutely no editing, rarely even containing thumbnails that pass for anything made post-2009. Oh wait, he got a face cam. That's something, I guess. Gaming content is insanely saturated. Ask me how I know. There's a lot of very worthy competition in this space, so what does Wings do differently to deserve his place as a full-time streamer? Challenges? Collaborations? Interesting playstyles?
How does the day greet you? What's going on with you?
Hello.
He sits there and cheese power levels a skill for an hour. Who's watching this? I already thought it was a little insane that people will watch streams consistently at all for hours upon hours, sometimes all the way through, but you're tuning in to watch someone do the most boring part of playing a single-player game. At least watching paint dry means that you've done something productive. His commentary at this point is rinsed, recycled, reused ad nauseum because he's been online for so long and leaves his house so infrequently that he has literally nothing to talk about.
No spamming.
He has no ability as a storyteller to captivate an audience, so you're stuck in a stream that has no editing, no music, is pure gameplay of someone sitting in a corner practically looping footage, and the guy can't even manage to talk to his stream unbroken for more than a couple seconds at a time. And guess what? When he uploads them to YouTube, just the sheer VOD, pretty much. There is no quality to be had here. If you're lucky, he'll talk to wife Kelly for a second or ask one of his moderators to ban someone. How is your job to be a full-time entertainer when your quote-unquote content would have been constituted as lazy or unimaginative even back when streaming was still brand new? When he's not playing a single-player game, he's either getting absolutely waxed in Call of Duty and getting pissed off, or playing one of the hood classics, Rainbow Six Siege. This helps us get to our next point. Let's move along. Oh, by the way, I was totally joking. Rainbow hasn't been good since year 3, and I do not care what you have to say about it. Wings has a quality that goes hand in hand with his lack of ability to make something watchable for anybody other than his biggest trolls and the people who have him as part of their routine. He doesn't ever adapt or change because to evolve is to admit that he's inadequate or doing something wrong. He is physically incapable of genuine improvement. Don't get me wrong, he sure will, say he's in the wrong in certain situations, but
I have issues with anger. Not so much like blinking out red, hitting people anger. Are you serious? Which that did happen during the fat camp, and that was a myriad of concoctions that caused that.
Anger,
but more so,
I would say anger, authority, and accountability, right? Because like throughout the years, not this situation, but throughout the years, when you would get hit with something, instead of just being like, I'm guilty, right? there was always like a Wings of Redemption defense attorney defense, right? On every situation that ever came out, right? And once you do that and you defend yourself,
Keem, he used an excuse literally 14 pentaseconds before you attempted to defend him. People wouldn't universally understand Liquid Richard's inability to live up to his actions if it weren't true. This goes back so far, it would single-handedly delay this video's release by weeks to list not even all the cases of him brushing off accountability. If he's losing in a 1v1, can't be his fault. The other player must be resorting to underhanded or dishonorable techniques, the ones that made him popular. He's having bad games in Rainbow. Everything is his team's fault. Wings, the only reason you're able to reliably call out your teammates' mistakes is because you get domed frame one as soon as the round starts and are locked into spectating. Your streams aren't even your own. Your viewers watch your teammates' gameplay half the time. This is getting its own section, so I'm only going to touch on this briefly, but the lolcow live incident shows the Wings of Redemption cycle in its entirety. Making a really big, stupid mistake caused by his inability to regulate his own emotions, apologize, take some time off to whatever, recoup, pretend like you're working on yourself, come back, combat the harassment, which is ultimately helping you in the long run because people are only tuning in to see you depressed. Then it goes to the status quo, then it goes to normalcy. And then from there, just starts all over again and again and again. It has to be exhausting. I hate to be this guy, but there's just a point in time where it's just legitimately preferable to just put the fries in the bag. Jordy has everyone's dream job, yet all he can seem to do is complain. He complains about the trolls, he complains about the games he plays, complains about the channels like Breaking Banquet existing. All of those things are self-inflicted, by the way. If he didn't act the way he did and feed into his detractors with anger, they would need to find someone new to pick on. But the thing that gets me the most is the fact that while he was on Keemstar's show, lolcow Live, he was making more money than I can imagine. Keem runs several successful channels. He's definitely richer than I'll ever be. So from the outside looking in, it's probably not a great idea to question the guy's business sense. However, Jordy, in all of his 200 viewer wisdom, pushes back against his co-hosts anytime they want to do anything other than sit there and talk, because that's his dream. His dream is to sit there and endure the humiliation ritual day to day until what little fame he has dries out. He admits this. There was one particular occasion where the co-hosts were told to go to a haunted house, a super simple, very straightforward task. Wings refused and turns this into a 6-hour ordeal where he shows everyone that he is completely unworthy of being a content creator.
here's what's going on. This is what's truly going on. It's not all these other things that you're saying. You don't want to leave the house. You don't want to drive to a haunted house. You just don't want to. You don't want to stream it. You don't want to do it. You just don't want to do it.
Hell no. I'll tell you straight up, I don't want to do it, but I will do it.
The thing is that you just don't want to do it. It's not all this other stuff that you're saying. It's just you don't want to do it.
Yeah, I don't ever want to leave the house. That's not who I am as a person.
But that's the main issue. It's not the other things. That's my point.
Like me not wanting to do it doesn't mean I'm not going to do it.
You're going there, you're calling on Discord, and you're like, hey, lolcow Live, talking to us and walking through a haunted house. This is not something that needs to be planned and all this special stuff. And like, this is so easy.
Show me how it's done, Keem.
Just
You
so
better be
know,
careful, 'cause
when I come
Keem,
back from the haunted house,
like-
I'm gonna lowball you for your shares. You're getting the lowest amount. There'll be no respect on that.
If I were you, I would have focused on getting to a haunted house that was open, then the goddamn links and Bluetooth, see if you can get that going. Right? At the end of the day, Boogie's text-to-speech failed. Whatever, he still went through the haunted house. That's the main thing. The main thing is you just don't want to do it. That's the real issue. That's the core of the issue.
I didn't. Granted, I never want to do it. I ain't gonna lie to you about that. But I will do it.
Why does everyone say you're the king of excuses?
It's because I don't like. I'm one of these people that if I don't do something, I'm just gonna tell you like fuck it. I ain't doing it.
Content is not turning a camera on. That is quite literally the bare minimum requirement. A grown man sitting, whining, crying. That is a secondhand embarrassment generator if I've ever described one. The top comment of this VOD sums up Wings perfectly. This is comedy gold, dude. The big one, and the main reason I'm making this video. During a lolcow Live event, elegantly dubbed Fat Camp, Jordy assaulted his boss and his wife. After he had assaulted Keemstar, wife Kelly had attempted to get in front of him and kind of stop him, slow him down, whatever she was trying to do, and he pushed her full hands on shoulders with probably what I would assume is the majority of his body weight, although obviously I have no way of knowing that. He does this in front of thousands of people. He flees the scene, and guess what happens to him? No, seriously, guess. Take a shot. Nothing. Absolutely nothing happened to him. No police involved. Security doesn't take a couple cracks at him. Nothing. But Hearts, he isn't on Lolcow Live anymore. His income was cut down considerably. But that wasn't even the actual initial plan. Actually, they initially just wanted to suspend him without pay for 90 days. This wasn't even supposed to be permanent. And despite deciding to cut ties with him ultimately, he has been back since, twice I believe. And this is my beef. This is my overarching issue with Jordy. The cycle in full motion afterwards, he immediately shifts the blame to Kelly, which isn't surprising. We went over this earlier. Keep up.
Really unhinged. Kelly responds to me, he's blaming me. He's blaming me for ruining his career. We're done with Wings.
Normally for something like this, I would do my best to make some kind of case to give his side of the story, to give him some kind of favor, because I really do try to be fair. But when it comes down to physical violence, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing to defend. Why come up with some sophisticated 21st century armchair psychologist defense when this guy can't help but revert to his baser instincts and use violence to try to solve conflicts? He brings up that for Fat Camp he was off his meds, which realistically would be a very good defense had things never been violent, but
Alright, when you start seeing it go up, now you know.
We made it so far.
Stop! Stop! Yep, there you go.
oh wait, this is the second time in 24 hours that he's hurt Kelly. You're telling me you see a dude hit a woman twice in 24 hours and he's not an angry, violent, and possibly abusive person. Both times just so happen to be on camera. I want to make my stance on this very clear. Kelly did say that this was very abnormal and that this was not a normal thing. I believe her. I do not believe that Wings is this horrible, degenerate wife beater. But you have to understand that from the outside looking in, you cannot blame people for thinking that. It's only common sense. Oh, he's only done it twice, but it just so happened that both occurrences were just randomly filmed. Doesn't that get you wondering about what's going on the other 99% of the time? Why does Wings pretend like this is some outrageous allegation? It's really not. You are asking people to put faith in you that you haven't earned. You can't seriously expect people to believe that unless you're just gullible or daft. People have lost their careers over tweets, over jokes, political alignments, but Wings can do whatever he wants. People still donate, still tune into his borderline unwatchable streams for whatever reason. It's honestly kind of sad to see what he's getting away with, completely scot-free. Oh wait, no, I was wrong. He did an anger management class and an online anger management class. So basically, after Wings watched a 12-minute YouTube video describing how not to get irrationally pissed off, he then gets on Rainbow Six and a couple other games, spending small durations at a time being irrationally pissed off. Am I taking crazy pills, dude? How is any of this real? Wings has been handed chances he has taken advantage of and screwed over so many people. He's eternally ungrateful for anyone and everyone's help, and he only cares about himself. He screwed Woody, all his original friends from PKA, Keem again. He has doxed people, he's threatened violence multiple times, committed violence multiple times. Second chances are great. Second chances are necessary for a population to thrive. But this is not a matter of forgiving or not forgiving anymore. It's about taking a genuine and serious look at this man and his history and asking yourself if you believe he's capable of real change. Does this man deserve donations? Does this man deserve to have a cushy career where he plays video games all day? No. He actually deserves jail, at least I think. Wings is in the 1% here, not the 1% of the world's highest earners, but 1% of people that can make a career online. It is my belief that he needs to fade away so that someone else, someone better, can take his place. I mean, this is already in full effect. Effectively, he's losing viewers by the day, because I know I don't want to share a platform with him, and I'm sure you don't either. For the very first time in his life, he should face his decisions and genuinely be punished. Thank you for watching.